Let me start off saying the fight of your life would take some coaching. My name is D'Angelo Simmons. I'm the founder of 365 Never Ending Fight. I was born to a single parent. My mother was 19 years old when she had me, and I was a third child. I was also a fatherless child. I also was diagnosed with sickle cell anemia. I grew up in Winton Terrace, and I became a 19-year-old father myself who raised his son in a single parent household. Some people would say a single parent household equal a broken home. Broken home could be a domestic environment, a drug infested environment that lacks love and guidance. Some of these kids are growing up with just a mother. Some of these kids are growing up with just a father. And we know anytime a parent is doing the raising of a child on his or her own, there's gonna be some stress there. Some kids is growing up with just their grandmothers. Better yet, some kids is growing up with no parents at all. One thing I understand is 10 to 15% of that population will become delinquent. This day and age, I have seen teachers being attacked, assaulted, etc. And I understand that 44% of teachers are burned out. Rightfully so. They underpaid and they don't have the protection and they're not respected. But yet you got a population of kids that's out here screaming for help. This day and age, there's so much distraction inside these classrooms. It's amazing. These kids are dealing with social media, these platforms. I remember coming up, our issues went as far as our front door, the neighborhood that we grew in, the neighborhood that we was raised in, maybe the schools that we went to. But this day and age, these kids got issues across the globe. These kids are judging themselves based off of the perception of others, what it looks like on social media, which causing these kids to have physical, emotional, and psychological issues just based off social media alone. It's a lot of bullying going on social media. A lot of kids don't know how to handle the adversity that social media brings. One thing I understand is guidance is key. This is something I understand when I became a 19-year-old father. I remember what I needed as a child and what I didn't have as a child and how I grew, the situations I had to overcome, the adversity that I had to address. So I understand guidance is key, and I never understood that more until I became a 19-year-old father. I remember the talks I used to have with my son at the bus stop to prepare him for the day. I used to reassure my son certain affirmations to let him know that he is God's gift. He is smart. He is strong. He can tackle the day. And these are the talks I used to have with my son. I used to have to send my son to school with the utmost confidence because I knew the environment and the other population he was walking into. Right? Dealing with certain kids that grew up in certain environments, them kids bring their environment to their school. So I had to make sure my son was mentally, physically built and ready to tackle that day. And this was a conversation I had with him every day, all day. In that process of raising my son, in the process of me coming up in certain environments, in the process of me working inside these shelters here in Cincinnati, Ohio, and dealing with at-risk youth for over 20 years, I developed a curriculum, tools you need to navigate adversity. I understand a lot of kids have a hard time of dealing with adversity. They don't know how to deal with it. They don't know where to start. And some of them was never taught, depending on the household they come out of. Due to the population today, we see how the kids not living past 15, 16. The crime rate is at an all-time high. They don't have the tools that they need to deal with adversity. Inside this curriculum, we deal with social, emotional development. We deal with healthy boundary setting. We deal with critical thinking. We deal with anger management. And we also deal with life skills. Just to touch on a few chapters that's inside my curriculum, conflict resolution. Conflict resolution is a skill that kids is screaming for. Conflict resolution, these kids do not know how to deal with conflict. This is why you see the crime rate at an all-time high. This is why you see the school shootings. These kids are being picked on, bullied, teased, etc. So if they learn, they need to learn these skills early. And you coming up in some of these environments and some of these broken homes, parents are overwhelmed. Teachers are overwhelmed. It takes a team. I might sound cliche, but it's true. It takes a village, and I'm a part of that village. 365 Never Ending Fight is a part of that village. Another chapter inside my curriculum is emotional awareness. These kids got to be aware of their emotions, why they feel that way, how to handle my emotions when it shows itself. It's okay to be upset. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be mad. The fact of the matter is, what do you do when your emotion get at an all-time high? At the end of the program, you will have critical thinkers. You will have kids that's emotionally aware. They are aware of their emotions. You will have kids that have confidence. You will have kids that are leaders. Like I said earlier, I implement this program inside these shelters here in Cincinnati. And once again, one thing I do understand is you might can't save everyone, but if you save a few, it's a great thing. So I do group sessions and I do one-on-one sessions. So I have seen this curriculum in action, and I have seen kids take what I have taught them and use it in their everyday life. Because we all know the fight of life will take some coaching.